What's going on, guys? We're going to do a little bit of electrical work tonight. It's done got dark outside. As you can tell, I got my truck out there with the lights on, but getting ready to run a little bit of electrical wire out to the new shop out here, a new building. And I was going to have the power company come and set a new pole and a meter and all that 9 yards, but it's going to cost like way too much to do that, because they'd have to set 2 poles and run about 300 foot of wire, and then I would still have to run wire off of their meter setup to the shop. But I would have a 200 amp service doing that, but it cost me a minimum charge of $20-something a month just for having the meter, even if I didn't even go out there. So I really don't like that. So I think 100 amps will get me with most anything I'll ever do out there, because I have a diesel welding machine. If I need to weld something, I use it. And even with 100 amps, you can use a small welding machine or whatever. You know, as long as you don't have anything else in the shop or anything else running anywhere. I mean, 100 amps will run a good bit of stuff. The main thing I'll need out there is lights and air compressor, and you know, some 110 plugs to plug in grinders and you know, whatnots like that. I don't plan on to do any industrial, you know, huge drill presses or anything of that nature to be needing really 200 amps for the most part. So I think this will get me by doing it this way. So I'm going to come off of my inside panel here. This is a 200 amp panel. It's I got 2 spaces, one on each side left. I'm going to take one of these breakers off of this side and swap it to this side or whichever, and put a 100 amp breaker here. I've got the wire. I got to drill a hole in the through the outside of the wall and put an LB. Run 2-inch conduit down the outside of the wall out here. Put a 90 on it, go in the ground. I've got a 2-aught aluminum wire that is a mobile home feeder for direct barrel. So after I come out of my schedule 82-inch conduit, dig a trench out to the shop and direct bury it and come up in the panel I got mounted out there. So that should work, and I'm going to let you guys watch. I'm not an electrician, but I did save a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. No, not really. But anyway, I did go to a little bit of electrical school back many years ago, and I have a friend that's an electrician, and I talked to him about it, and he kind of gave me a little heads up on some things that, you know, what would work. I was actually going to go with a little bit smaller service wire and put a smaller breaker on it, but I got the price on the wire, and I can go with this 2-aught aluminum for the price of like number 4 copper. You know, it's actually cheaper, and can have 100 amps out there by doing it this way. Now, obviously, I can't run everything in my house at the same time I got everything on out there, but I'm only one person, and I can't be out there welding and in here cooking all at the same time, so it doesn't matter, and it'll work for what I need. And like I say, the biggest thing I'm going to need out there is an air compressor, and most of those pull 25 to 30 amps anyway, plus the lights, so I should be good. But anyway, we get this panel cover off, and y'all watch, see what's happening here. Guys, if you don't have one of these little screwdrivers like this is just a cheap Black & Decker. I bought this several years ago. Surprisingly, it still works. This is the handiest thing for putting in like plugs and light switches and whatnot. It's way better than a drill or a screwdriver, a normal screwdriver. It's just the right speed and works great. Now I need to come through the bottom of this box down here. Right here in this knockout, I'm going to drill a hole, and this should come out where I need it to on the outside of the house, I hope. We'll drill a small hole first to make sure. I know about where I've measured and I got an idea, but I want to make sure that my measuring's right, and I don't want to drill a 2-inch hole first to find out it's wrong, because I can patch that little hole. It's hard to patch a 2-inch hole. But I want to go out through the wall that way, because if I try to go through the bottom, there's a big seal beam under the floor of the house, because this is a wood foundation, and it's like an 8-inch, you know, and I had no way of drilling through an 8-inch beam straight down, and I would have to tear out sheetrock and redo this. So going straight out the side of the wall and going down across, I'll show you. But let's see if we can get a hole drill here. This house has insulation on the outside of the walls. It's an old house, and it had the old slat siding on it, and then a piece of 1-inch insulation, and then another piece of siding on it, and then I come back and house wrap that and put vinyl siding on it. So the walls are pretty thick, and also this box is offset from the wall, I believe, to come out flush. So let me see what I can come up with for another drill bit or something here. Alright guys, I'm going to step up to a 3/8 drill bit, which I hate to do, but the only thing I got that's longer, I don't have any the small, you know, extended drill bits. So I'm going to try this. I know this is going to create a problem when I go to drill my bigger hole, because the pilot bit and the hole saw is smaller, so it's going to want to wobble and not going to want to work too good, but it's all I got to work with, so we're going to go with it. Alright, that went all the way through there. We'll go outside and see where it come out at. Alright guys, we're outside here, and you can see the hole right up there. This is the electrical meter on the back side of the house here, and the panels are just above it, so my electrical service wire comes in, down, through the meter, and back in the bottom of the house in a LB. It comes up inside the bottom of the meter box. And so we're coming out the back side of the bottom of the meter box right here. We're going to come out with a LB and go down the side of the house right here till we get down to about this second window down here, right here. And then we're going to come down just like this with a 90, and then go in the ground, and then with another 90 and go out towards the shop, which is out that way. The reason we're doing that is first thing is I can't get a trench over here, anything to dig a trench over here, and my septic is right here, comes right beside this air conditioning pad. So there's a septic line going in, so I can't dig there, and then I have air conditioning lines over there, so I can't dig there. So that's my only option, is to come down the side of the house with the 2-inch conduit and you know, come down here and go down in the ground. Otherwise I would go all the way up and then go straight up right beside that air conditioning feed there. But I can't do that because there's lines in the ground, so that's why we're not doing it that way. But anyway, I like where the hole's at right there, so we can go ahead and enlarge this to a 2-inch hole now, and put our LB in the wall and start running our pipe down. Alright guys, here we go with the we got a 2.5-inch hole saw, and we're fixing to go through the wall. And got to be careful when you're doing this not to touch any of this. It's all hot. These are the main lugs coming in, and so we don't want to touch any of that. And if you're messing with yours at the house, you don't want to touch any of it either, because the electrons don't like to be bothered. Not very forgiving. So we're going to see if we can drill this hole here without touching any of that. Alright guys, I've got a big hole in the side of my house now, as you can see. You can see the light coming through there. Now you can see. This is a nipple I got. So hopefully it's going to be about the right length, and I think it is, to go through there just like that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my LB on this, and then we'll go outside and stick it through the hole. Alright guys, this is what we got. We got our LB here. This is a rigid LB. It's threaded on each end. Got a 5-inch nipple because that wall is so thick with the extra layers of wall and insulation. We got a lock nut on here, and I put plenty of thread sealant on this where it screws in. This will come through a wall. We have another one of these lock nuts on here inside the breaker box, and then we have our plastic whatchamacallit to keep from cutting the wire on there. Anyway, that's what we're going to do, and I would love to have this going straight down in the ground out there, but like I say, I can't go that way because of pipes, and then my field lines for my septic and my phone line goes that way, so I can't go that way. So the only option is going down the side of the house like that, like I was showing earlier. But we're going to stick this in here and get her tightened up. Alright guys, we're going to put some silicone on here. It's automotive grade silicone. I don't think it really matters one way or the other what you use, as long as it is sealed, the water doesn't get in the side of your house. That's the way we're doing it. Alright guys, this is our LB on the outside of the house. I used the extension ladder here leaning up against the house to hold it up in that position so it wasn't swinging down. And so that's how I got it held up. That's how you do things when you don't have any help. You can see the globs of silicone we got here. And I'm going to take some of this and glob it around there a little better. Just because I'll have to get it off the side of the house later. Alright guys, that wraps up what we're doing in the box in here. And so the wire will come through right here, make a 90 up, And like I say, I'll swap one of these breakers over to one side, put a 100 amp breaker, bring my wire down, and I've got to put a neutral lug on my neutral bar here in order to fit my big neutral wire under it, because it's a number 1 neutral wire, and these neutral bar is only good for number 4, I think. So anyway, that wraps up what we're doing for tonight in here. And if you guys are working in a box that's hot like this, you know, your main wires are coming in are hot like mine is, be very careful. It's not smart to even be working in this like this, especially with like I was doing with that screwdriver, because if I would have touched that screwdriver to that hot right there and it being grounded, sparks would fly. Let's just say that. So it's definitely not smart, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. If you're unsure or uncomfortable, get an electrician to do it. Don't get yourself killed. Anyway, we're going outside. I got some electrical tape on this, not electrical tape, but Teflon tape, and we're going to screw this into the LB, and then we'll be able to glue our pipe into there. And I have that taped wrong. Whoops. Trying to talk and do it at the same time. Oh well. Tape has to go on the same way as it threads, or else when you screw it in, it will unthread the tape. Wasn't paying attention when I done that, was I? Okay, so now then, that will work. So we'll screw this in, then we'll glue some pipe in here. Alright guys, we're back outside. These are the screws I'm using. They're 5/16 by 1.5 inch lag screws. And I chose the 1.5 inch length because you see how thick the wall is on the house. There is actually water lines and electrical lines running through the wall, you know. So I wanted something short enough that I was only going through one layer of siding and not all the way through and making a big mistake. So I'm going to kind of use this ladder here to go up and put the pipe in. I got the pipe glue sitting on the AC unit there, and we're going to put this pipe up there. I'm going to hold it up there yet. I'll set line when we get there. I'm not using a level on this. I'm just going to go kind of with the lines on the siding because I know it's level. May not be perfectly level when I get done, but it'll be pretty close. Alright guys, we got our 90s here. This is the standard 90. I think this is what we're going to use. I think that wire's limber enough to go through there because it's such a short run I'm doing here. It's not like I'm having to put it a long distance, and I think if I lube it up good, it'll go through there. And then I'm going to put a sweeping 90 on the bottom of it where it goes in the ground. So it'll go like this right here. It'll come down, be a piece of pipe in between there, and this will be in the ground. I could use one of these up here, I think, but I think it'll look better with the other one. You know, it's a little tighter bend there. And I think it'll work out better. So that's what we're going with, and hopefully it'll get the wire pulled through there. All right, guys, that's all we're doing tonight. That's what it looks like so far on the side of the house. I could have come down with that LB and come across the bottom right there where that flashing's out on the bottom, but it would have made me have another 90 there, then another 90 there, and then another 90 there. And of course, the less 90s you have, the better off you are trying to pull wire. So I think that looks just fine going across there just like it is. And we're going to come down into the ground right here and dig a trench about 3 foot deep. We'll put that sweeping 90 on there. We're going to come beside the deck here, right out through here, right out through there to the shop, and the panels on the inside of the door right there. We'll put a sweeping 90 right here and go up into this box in here. Show you this panel here. This is the panel in here that we have, and I already put the connector in here as well. So all we got to do is connect this down in the ground, dig a trench, connect it up there, and come out here with it. So that'll be on the next episode. All right, guys, that's it for now. I got to go find something to put inside this pipe right now for temporary to keep wasps or anything from trying to go up in there and build a nest inside my breaker box. But maybe in a couple weeks I can get this trench dug, have time to do it. I got the wire and everything to do it with. Just got to get you know, some time in order to rent something to dig the trench with and get it done. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.